Hello, my name is Bria, and I have a love of remodeling stories to kind of find the bare bones of the story to see what the story is trying to teach us. Because I think stories are important teachers and narratives, and I like these bones that are already there for us to reinvent things. And I'm wondering if we fixed myths and offered alternative narratives that we might have more harmony in our lives and kind of be free from this history we hold of misogyny and greed. And if we fix these things in the past, can we move forward with more empowerment? Not to diminish the past or make it go away, but just to offer an alternative narrative. And in addition, just to tell stories orally rather than get fixated on how they were written. And it's okay to, that I'm winging this and trying to just tell a story as it rolls out of me. And I want to invoke the goddess Freya in this story as she is an inspiration. And I hear her words, and she was like, please tell a story about me that is actually about me. As the goddess is the muse in creativity in this world. And the goddess energy is everywhere. It's how we make things, it's how we remodel a bathroom, and how we make dinner, and how we would play with pottery or paint or pick out a new purse. And the other part about Freya is she's full of sexual energy, which is also just life force. Like, where do we get the energy to do things and be alive with creative potential? The Hindus call this energy Shatiki. This is the very energy of the universe, the life force, the breath. And as I am alive and I'm invoked by the goddess, this very creative life force, she gives this fire, this energy to make things happen. And she wishes me to sing the song of her through stories and words. And so I'll tell you the story of Freya's necklace called Brísingamen. And the meaning of Brísingamen, of course, is debated by the scholars. I'll let them have it. Brísingamen could mean necklace of the Brísingers, fire necklace, amber necklace, or girdle of fire and amber. And this is a matter of debate for the scholars to arm wrestle or thumb wrestle about later. So the monks of the 14th century wrote a story of Freya and Brísingamen, her necklace. And it's not really a great time in the 14th century for women. It's not like a women-centric time, as these monks didn't know anything of the Shatiki energy, and they worked pretty hard to dismiss any potent sexuality and beauty of Freya and make her lower down on the tier, because that was sort of a misogynistic time that we're just finally recovering from very recently. And the story they told about Freya was that Freya heard about this necklace that these dwarves made. She went down there and was like, hey, do you want 50 cents? Do you want a back massage? Do you want your car washed? Do you want a bag of gold? Do you want a new crown? And they're like, no, why would we want any of that? That's weird. How about you share with us your particular niche, which is sexuality? She's like, well, that is my niche. And so she spent a night with each dwarf and she got her necklace. And then the story got off the rails where gods turned into seals, and Odin is like, I heard about this, now you have to start a war. So she's not really in the story that much at all. So I want to tell a story with her actually in it as a little bit of a character rather than this like side story. And also just to ponder her role as a sex and love goddess, as to be sexual is to be live and drawing on your own potent life force. And that's kind of what she's offering us, like as a little lesson, as she is a goddess of the north, maybe a Shatiki for white people, just saying. And Freya is a goddess of deep potency, of the powers of love, beauty, sex, magic, and death. All these things, life and death. So let's remodel this dry version of the monk story. They got it from somewhere. They heard it off the streets. And created this kind of mismatched story of seals and sex exchange for a necklace. And let's make it something new. And also like not diminishing the power of sexuality. So we'll say, once upon a time, Freya, the love goddess, wanted an ornament, an adornment to enhance her powers. And also to be recreated by mortals, to be able to invoke her and call on her magic as needed. Because she is a love goddess and she wants to bring love to this world. And so she decided to commission 4 master craftsmen, the dwarves, for this task. As dwarves are the creators of this world, and they know of earth, metal, and fire. And they came to the temple of Freya, and they bowed low before her, and so transfixed by her perfect beauty and her radiance, and know that the words of Freya were the words of pure poetry, and she inspired them deeply, and they were very excited for this project that she proposed. And they talked and they talked and came up with this beautiful design and idea of her adornment as she requested. It would be of gold and amber, and it would be 2 pieces, a necklace and a waist belt, a necklace and a girdle, one for her perfect ivory neck and another for her perfect ivory waist. Because Freya wanted to invoke 2 things. The gold and amber necklace was for the goddess within us to speak truly from our hearts, not in this screeching rage or despair, but really like drawing on the voice to be full of love. And so the waist belt is to invoke sensuality, her potent sexuality, and draw on your own inner power and wisdom of the body. There is nothing wrong with the body. Bodies are good. And so that would be another lesson of the sex goddess, that bodies are good and beautiful. And so Freya would invite us to speak our truth and invoke the power of our own bodies. And the craftsmen knew that there'd have to be an exchange, a payment to make this fair, to create this work of art for her that would allow the magic of these 2 adornments to thrum with the magic of Freya to be. They needed a fair exchange. In order to craft something for her, they needed to know her, and that payment was that, to spend 1 night with the love goddess. And then they'd be able to create the energy from Shatiki. And the night with Freya would change them forever and also connect them forever to the goddess. So for the next 4 nights, a dwarf came to her temple, and he was cleaned and washed in salt, anointed in oil, and bathed in the smoke of mugwort and sage. And each night they lay next to the goddess and felt her abundant and endless love. And then the dwarves were able to create this beautiful necklace and girdle for the goddess and presented it to her. And she wore her gifts and advised anyone to tap into the magic, and they could use the symbols of the 2, the necklace and the girdle. So my creative lovers, my thoughtful people out in this world, adorn yourself, speak your own truth, be connected to your body, and know the truth of your own fire. So thank you for listening, and tell me next story. Have a beautiful day.